Making matters worse. Like my mom said, people making matters worse. That's why I'm just like, you care anymore. You know, it's like the first world countries and shit. Like America is one of these white man countries. That's really what it's talking about. They said modern countries and shit like that. Like Ukraine was like, oh my god, why the fuck would Russia attack Ukraine? We're the first world countries and shit. Because the first one was about fantasy shit. That's why white people will really be on some crazy shit, and we don't know why. It's but that's what I'm saying. But that's the fantasy that shit. But that shit comes from that price and shit. It comes like I'm destroying everything and shit like that. So like that's what I'm saying. White people fucking evil as fucking shit, and you know what I'm saying? That's they shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like really into like, you know what I'm saying, being like evil because they didn't relish only being evil because it's like they really be on some shit where like, you know what I'm saying? Like they feel like they have to hate on the chosen enemies that they've chosen to attack, basically. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to like basically get from the second world to the first world. The first world is just straight fantasy. You know what I mean? And so now they live in a utopia of their own making and shit, which is basically fucked up already because they already have a hateful mind. So like that's why like racism and all that shit was the way it was, and genocide and shit was the way it was really. Torture is genocide. You know what I'm saying? Be black people and shit like that because it's just like, you know what I'm saying, these motherfuckers wanted to like, that's all they knew in their psyche. So it's like they're in their own fucking fantasy world now, but they have their evil. It's like vampires and shit. You know what I mean? So that's why they're still evil today and shit. Because like, of course, when you have kids and shit, kids grow up and shit in that type of environment. You know what I mean? They learn that they can do this, they can do that. They're in this like imaginary world and shit. So they like really stick to that. And then it destroys that. They're gonna be like, no, what the fuck? Yeah. So that's why like, white people became like that type of shit. And then to like regular day, then it's putting people that are lower than them, into better positions and whatnot, and always doing that type of shit. And then in shit because of race wars and shit. Like, and because things like that, like motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just mixed on to shit, but like at the same time, like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of where it comes from and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's one of the situations and shit. It's not white people and shit, just like, it's first world countries and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't like this, you know what I'm saying? Um, that's why Bob Marley comes from a third world country where, you know what I'm saying, you're basically being attacked by fucking, nature and things like that. Third world country mostly because of the fact that, like, people are still, like, living off the land and, they don't have indoor plumbing and, things like that and shit like that. The land's kind of fucking them their asses up, you know what I mean? So, yeah, um, and then we have the second world, which is just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, like, Victorian times, like, we're talking about some fucking, being inside and, but it's not like there's electricity, indoor plumbing and shit. It's just like, that shit. So, all that shit right there. So it's like, it's kind of dumb shit. It's kind of dumb shit. But, yeah, it's like that third world country shit. But yeah, you said people are just living a dream. You know, saying that people say you're making matters worse. But I'm honestly, you're making matters. People are making matters worse because they think life is a dream. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, that's why it's like those people are really the ones that are fucked up right now. You know what I mean? It's like all that shit. It's fucked up. It's crazy and shit. But yeah, let's bring back all the way to like the restroom and whatnot. Like, that's what I know. I know for a fact, that it's like that's what this is happening. You know, this is happening. So yeah. I had to put on my other phone just so I realized I had to get on live. I'm not gonna be on live forever. Like I'm probably like gonna call it quits definitely with YouTube shit. Like I even think some of y'all are just like some of y'all probably doing shit. I don't know any of y'all even like are regular people. And a lot of y'all are regular people, but like I don't think it really matters. I'm not really like helping anybody and shit, you know. And I kind of came to the conclusion my life is like pretty much getting over and shit. I mean, I'm still doing my thing. I'm in Chicago and shit. But the way I'm living my life and, you know, the way life is going down for me, I'm gonna have to be honest. I know it's like once again you're like, oh man, like now, like you like before, like when I was like I was off of this, then I came back on. Remember I was just like talking shit on my family and shit. Like it was just like kind of lame. But I felt like I was exposing them, and you know, because that's what we used to do on YouTube and shit. You know, it's kind of sad because like YouTube has changed, and so like it's very much now like celebrity status. Like you got to be good at what you're doing. And even that, you know, where I was looking at what they were saying back in 2022 with augmented reality, and now they're putting that shit on YouTube with the AIs, and like we're not, I'm not even. I'm just like I don't even have like a fan base. I'm not in a niche in YouTube. And even if you were, like a lot of this content stuff is just really bad. Like it's tunnel vision. It has nothing to do with your own real reality. It's like you can't face reality, so you're living in this, like I said, first world country shit. You know, you think life is a dream. Like it's not. Like YouTube is just really, it's not good. Not good. Social media is not good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really in the mood to like put any more truth or content or just anything. Honestly, I'm at a point right now where it's like I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Like I just feel like a bum. You know what I mean? Who's just trying to fucking. I feel like a bum that's just trying to fucking like get by at this point. You know, like I'm in a situation, no storage unit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not getting any money because I started this as a weed channel and shit, and that just is not gonna make this. And it's not even because we're not in that era anymore of vlogging. I mean, people putting content out there, people just making videos, but I don't care. Like you guys are not in my life. I'm not in your life. You know, like it's just gotten stupid. Like my life has completely just gotten ridiculous. Like I'm a bum in Illinois. You know, and at the end of the day, like, you know, it's just like the way when you start waking up and, you know, you start realizing the realities of like this lame ass life and all this other shit, you can finally woo-saw in that regard. And is that weird to say that? Like, I'm at that point, I guess, right now where I'm like, I'm never going to be shit in life. Like I'm really not gonna be shit. And so now that I like though that you know what I mean mentality is there, I'm really like now I'm content with like not giving a fuck anymore about trying to be shit. So now it's like I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be enthusiastic. I'm not trying to be you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be shit. And I'm at that point now. And you know, and the reason I'm like that is because I know that that's what was intended for me, and that's what destiny was had for me. Since birth, like you're dealing with, you know, it is what it is. You know, you're dealing with a in this situation that I'm grown. You're dealing with a tall, big old tall. You know, this situation, I guess, a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Dark skin on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Those that already is just marked for death, and then like what's it? And then you put on queer or trans or whatever, gay. We're going to throw on there. It's like that's just even that's just that's like you know, like Vegeta when Goku said Vegeta dies while he's dead, he's gonna be gone forever. Like yeah, that's pretty much that. That was that. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just like, you know, I'm pretty much done. I'm minced meat. It's over for me. Like now it's like I'm at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like to where like I don't see it. You know what I mean? Like and I say that shit, and it's just because like I'm starting to see now that like you know I don't even know what to say anymore. Like it's just how do I put this shit? Like, I just realized now that it's like there's nothing I can do, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so fucking crazy. Like, because we live in America, right? It's a land of dreams and shit, right? You can literally be who you want to be, but like doesn't mean society is going to respect you or like you. Like, I mean, it's honestly, when we were growing up, back in the '90s, we had like Ripley's "Believe It or Not," I think it was called, and there was like a lot of weirdos on there. I remember there's this guy, I think he was like a snake guy. He had like piercings and like tattoos and shit. And he was on talk shows and shit. Like, if you're an American, I mean, these people just did that shit just to do it, like type shit. They were like, yeah, I'm just, I feel like doing this shit. So, do you think the public is gonna fuck with them? Do you think the public is gonna be like, And that's what I'm saying. It's like, when you're doing something like this, it's because you have the freedom to do that. But just because you have the freedom to do that doesn't mean that everybody's going to like. In America, let's be honest, like we do. Not even just in America, the world right now. I mean, you could buy hormones on the internet from India, just straight up. I'm not even gonna hold you. You can, you know what I mean? You can buy weed online. I'm sitting here, I buy weed online, high as fuck right now. Like, you can take it anywhere. It's like it doesn't matter. Like, things are, and you could do it before. Before it was illegal or whatever. So I mean, motherfucking Eric Khan is doing that shit, making YouTube videos. So it's like, all I'm saying is, it's like I'm at that point right now where it's like I can do my own thing, but I don't have to like it's time to ghost the world right now. If you're gonna do your own thing, do your own thing. But like, there's no reason to be broadcasting the shit. Like, and there's only a lot of us that did that shit because we're all idiots and we thought that, okay, like, people are gonna see my talents and shit. Like, they're not gonna see your talents, you know what I'm saying? So, how it goes. They're not gonna see your talents. Like, I'm not trying to be negative and shit, but I just like, I'm not a player right now. I think maybe it's the way the world is too. In general, is like, it's just time to like kind of call it quits. I think I come from a certain level of millennial where it's like, there's a certain like subset of millennials I feel like that are just kind of like, we thought that we could become famous because of the internet. Like, we thought like all these different shit, like a lot of you Gen Z that are like, oh, like this shit is just like normal shit, like YouTube. Y'all go on YouTube just to kind of bullshit or whatever. Fuck, we were growing up, and YouTube was like taught you how to do shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't know how to shave, you could really go on YouTube and like learn how to shave. If you didn't know how to use the fucking vacuum cleaner, you could have went on YouTube and like literally someone showed you how to use your vacuum cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like, and then there were people that were on YouTube that were saying some real shit that people were not saying, or at least not like, you couldn't even like, you know what I mean? I remember we used to look on fucking YouTube at interracial fucking couples videos and posts and shit. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that shit was. Just pictures of people and shit. Just pictures of shit, like in a slideshow and shit. I remember just seeing like shit like this back in the day. The point I'm trying to make here is like, the way like I think it was like, I thought that I could like be like a little peep. I could fucking make some SoundCloud music and like I'll be famous and shit one day. Like, or I'm not even trying to be famous. Really, just like, you thought that you were not even gonna be famous. You thought like, okay, it was like money and shit. You thought you could become a SoundCloud rapper and like it would have money and shit. You get torn because it's like it's more accessible now. Like, you can actually get in there. You don't actually have to like. P. Diddy doesn't have to find you. You can like, you know what I'm saying, post your music on the shit, then get all the fucking tally of the fucking, you know what I'm saying, people do meetups and shit, email all those motherfucking people that listen to your music and like your shit and be like, yeah, if you want to go to my concert and shit, $10 and shit, and then like motherfuckers at the fucking door give you $10 and shit. You thought you could do shit like that, talk to the owner, pay him a cut and shit. You're thinking like, this is how I'm gonna do that shit. And it's like, that's not how it went, like, at all. It was actually, they made it, these people on the social media made it seem, they made it seem that way. But it like, you realize real quick, like, that's not what that was. Like, at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, trans people, when they came out, they made you feel like, yeah, if you feel like a woman, you can want to do this shit. And it seemed that way. When you actually came out and shit, it was like, oh, like, nah. First of all, it was the extremes. And that's what I'm saying. You're always going to deal with those extremes in society, because society is mentally ill. Like, they're going to, like, judge you based off society shit. But if they're fucked up, they're going to pseudo that bitch and make you fucking into something that they want. You know what I mean? So society hates trans people, hates me because they're like, oh no, what the fuck, you shouldn't be doing that shit. That's weird as fuck. And you have the freaks that are really gay, and they're like, I want to be with you because you're really a man, but you obviously are like have a woman parts of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gay though. And then vice versa. You know? Oh, you know what I'm saying? You look like a woman and shit, but like, you know what I'm saying? I know you still have man parts and shit. So like, I'm not gay though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like weird shit, you know? And that's what I'm saying. Like, people that pseudo and shit, they're like weird and shit. Trying to be weird. And that's why I'm like, oh, no. So, it's not about affirming yourself in society and shit. Like, they're not gonna fucking understand it. They're never gonna understand it. Anything you do of singular virtue, and why? Because you live in a first world country and shit. So basically, everybody here's just by themselves, and they're on their own la la land of what they want because they have this fucking like man. Life that has no purpose. Like, you know what I mean? There is no God. There's no fucking like glory. There's no fucking like nothing. There's no plateau of shit that will actually mean shit in the grand scheme of shit. You know what I'm saying? And that like really like all this shit is fucking meaningless. And it's not to even like take away from the value necessarily of what's going on. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like it's just to let you know like what's really going for me, like what made me fucking like a hardcore atheist now, where I'm not like an atheist, like I'm just not gonna, flavor. But anyway, so it was really just the fact that it's like when I came here, I was on TikTok STEM, and like I guess they filmed some video, and I thought some spiritual shit, and it was just fucking like the fucking time periods of like when the earth was fucking created after the Big Bang and all this type of shit. And it was like, and you know about it, but when you do the actual research, and I just sat there for like a couple of hours and I was just researching about like those times, like each time period and shit, and how humans, how beings, you know what I mean, like formed on the planet and shit like that. And it was like, it kind of sounded like random rock, and it kind of sounded like hell and shit. So I was like, okay, let me look at this shit. And maybe some inspiration was there, but like it was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And then if you think about it too, maybe it was like reptilian type shit, and that's the reason why maybe it was smaller and it grew. And it was, but yeah, like that shit was crazy, And so that's how that shit was, And it's like, it's different when you realize like humans are not really. Like, it's hard to explain this. When you're religious, even if you're pseudo religious, right, on some real shit, right, you really have this mindset that like Adam and Eve was like the beginning of time, and you feel like that shit. I think that's some of those videos you see. People are like, you don't think that fucking the pyramids were built like this long or some shit. Suspension of time is like different. And I'm like, when they like pull that shit up, there's like some videos back in the day and shit. I'm looking at shit, and then like some clips and shit, And not back in the day, sorry, my bad. Like a couple of years ago, like not too far, like maybe like 2022 or some shit like that, right? And I didn't understand what that meant, but now I see like, because I didn't know, like when you realize how old the fucking planet is. This shit. Like I remember from this Rasta Elder shit, like those was the plan at the beginning of time, man and women, and it's like that's not true. What I'm saying? like it's crazy. It's like wow, you realize like yeah, like nah, like for like 10 billion fucking years, it's like this motherfucker was just a fucking fiery fucking pit. Like what I'm saying? So it's like. Nah, it's like then you live another 10 billion years. It was a swampy gas fucking giant and shit where you couldn't even fucking breathe on this shit. And it's like you start to realize like damn, there was really like Garden of Eden type shit, and that just takes away from like and I'm talking about like just the mentality of all like spiritualists and shit you see nowadays and shit, like all these different pseudo type of spiritualities and all types of other shit and practices and shit. All stemming from like a certain every aspect, even from the moralism type shit. It just comes from a certain mentality of like, that's unnatural and shit. Because, or That's not right. That you're an AG. I feel bad I'm an AGP because I'm not supposed to fucking like, have a erotic target location error. I'm supposed to be in love with the woman and shit because like you start realizing that's just not what it is, and you don't have like this like problem anymore, because it's become very like linear and calculatable, which was the universe is. And then it's like that's when you start to fucking like actually like wake up out of your like stupidity. And it's like crazy because the stupidity is your mind, right? You not like really like not you taking control of your mind, but you like not understanding like you can control yourself. Like you think you can like choose your life and shit. You think you can like create situations and shit, and you really can't. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really just responding to like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember the spiritual said, you aren't your mind. Bitch, you are like your spirit is not your mind. No, motherfucker. You are your brain. Like what's in your mind is in your psyche, what's in your brain and shit is what life is. Like you can't so they're saying before, like if you are really just a misogynistic person and that's the reason why you're really gay and some real human shit, then yes, bitch, that's what you are. Like you can't be, I love women and try to be all politically correct, or just because you're queer and shit, you trying to fucking kiki with the women and shit because you can't hang out with the dudes because you act feminine and shit. Like no, you don't like these women. If you had your utopia, it'd be a gated community type shit or a gated city where it was just fucking effeminate men married to, what I mean? You live in the fucking, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what you really want and shit. That's what I'm saying, because you live in this dream world and shit, because you live in the first world country and shit. And this was your psyche has turned into. So now in real time, real life and shit, now you like are following your dream and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like it is what it is, Like you can't like negate that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like anymore. Like that's what I'm saying. Like for me, that's what I'm talking about. Like you wake from your stupor and shit. Like you wake up like, and it's not even that that's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It just is. Like it's going to be that way. And so it's like, okay, once you kind of like get out of that shit and realize, okay, that's the reason why all these mental disorders are out here now and shit. So even if being transgender is a mental disorder, there's so many types of disorders, and like what causes this disorder is just the simple fact that you're not fucking up with society. You're not a disruption in society, like literally. Like literally, people inside are just trying to live, go home, eat, be cordial in public and whatnot. But you don't, you know what I mean? You ain't out here trying to hurt people, harm people and shit. Like you're not doing shit, and you're not like soliciting shit. You're not like disrupting, the flow of traffic of human affairs and shit. Like what I'm saying? Like it's all good, As long as we need to help you and treat you with that shit, we could do that shit. But that's essentially what the fuck that's about, That's what that's about. So, like when you look up like the illnesses, even mental illnesses, when you get hired, they said, do you have any like, problems and shit, any traumas, any like shit, disorders and shit, like depression, anxiety is part of that shit. It doesn't say about fucking gender dysphoria. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't say misandry and shit, So like you can follow your dream and shit, but then like if it disrupts, because it does, anxiety can make you fucking freak the fuck out. Situations you shouldn't be calm and shit. And it should be, you shouldn't be making people feel weird and shit. Depression, the same shit. You ain't gotta be negative toward not that negativity is faking, fucking up the job and what's going on around you and shit. And other people, you being negative around people and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the whole point of shit. That's what I'm saying. So that's just the way. Nothing's wrong with that. See what I'm saying? So that's why it's like we gotta stop fucking like doing that shit. And it comes from things like that mentality of like not religious, but like that whole orbit of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, child friendly, not child friendly, but family friendly, all this dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that are vulgar, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like, all these, like, type of things we use to, you're making this illusionary shit that just brainwashes you. That is really just brainwashing. And it's so sad because it's like, you know, I feel like if you're a really mature and adult, you'll understand that that's just what it is. Not to like I said that's wrong, but when you become a weirdo, you know what I'm saying? That's when you start to have mental disorders, because now you don't know the difference between reality and projecting that dream that you have, using that aspect of your mind that create those dreams to make things happen for you, right? You're using that shit now, and that ability type shit to like project onto everything around you. So now you're like when the people on the streets don't want to be a preacher and shit, like the Hebrew Israelites and shit. You get what I'm trying to say? Like you on that shit. Whereas like y'all not even what y'all talking about. Y'all talking about Jesus, and like what you were taught was Jesus. You trying to pseudo that shit type shit, and you trying to convince everybody you're not trying to pseudo that shit. Like it has some real validity to it. But motherfucker, you talking about in so many words some Adam and Eve type shit, and it's like that has nothing to do with nothing in real fucking life. Like, it's crazy. I'm watching this movie yesterday and shit with Taraji Henson and shit. I forgot the name. I think it was Hidden Colors. Is it Hidden Colors? I forgot the shit right now. I just watched this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like watching that shit. She, you know what I'm saying? She in the movie, you feel me? Like, she, calculating how to motherfucking get the fucking first man to the moon and all this type of shit, or how to get to outer space and shit. She doing this astrophysics and shit. Like, you can't think like that. We used to think like that, and it was 1969 type shit. Like, motherfucker, I'm thinking like, like we had the fucking civil rights in the '60s, and we also had the goddamn man coming on the moon in the '60s. Some people still didn't have color TV, but there was like color TV was getting this. So you tell me we didn't even have color TV. Motherfuckers going to the moon. We still had segregation. Trans people were literally already fucking like taking hormones at that time. It's mind boggling, because you're just thinking like, and these are the same people and shit that want to kind of like, you get what I'm trying to say? Think about it, bro. All this science, technology and shit, and then people really want to sit here and have moral fucking decisions about some shit. And it's like you start to realize like nah, two things. You start to realize people are just dumb as fuck type shit. And also you realize like, you know what I'm saying? Like you realize that it's like all this shit is like short in time. Like it's not like, you know what I'm saying? When you somebody compare like that stupid little 40 years, you know what I'm saying, color TV and shit to what we're doing now and shit. It's like, man, like 10 billion years of like fucking fire and hailstorm and shit. Like it don't equate. You know what I'm trying to say? It don't equate. There's no. You can just kind of feel it. Like it's really coming in a blink of an eye. That means everything don't mean nothing, and it's just going. It's just going. And if it's going, it's gone because it ain't shit. You get what I'm trying to say? What I'm saying is like, okay, it's like the Earth and the universe are really sitting here fucking 10 billion years of this shit. But like we fucking as humans are trying to figure out how to make color TVs and shit. So like now we on cell phones and shit like that. And it's like what's 2020s, I was like the 20 fucking 60s, 1960s. That's like fucking what? Like 60 years and shit. 60 human years and shit, and we fucking developing technology like that. But like on Earth and shit, 10 billion years of fucking you know what I mean, microscopic motherfucking dinosaurs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like stupid ass shit. It's just like it's mind boggling, because you realize like the realities of what's actually happening in real science and real life and shit is not what like human fucking affairs is about and shit. Like, you get what I'm saying? And like it's like what we fucking dealing with It's like a socialization or a brainwashing and shit. It's not even like real. You know what I mean? And then when you realize that shit, you realize like, man, none of this shit is fucking real and shit when it comes to like dealing with people in society and shit. Like it's just all fucked up and stupid shit. And that's why people, that's why in the past, there was so many wars and deaths and all this shit. It was a part of that. When you realize, oh, for that shit too, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy as fuck. When you realize that shit, like what I'm saying is from the beginning of the earth creation till now, basically, if you were gonna be a human, this is the best time to be a fucking human. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like you couldn't like be human any of the like because it's sad, but it's not sad because it's like, man, it made a blink of an eye. It's like when you dead, I ain't gonna lie, you dead. You know what I mean? So it's like motherfuckers just it's just like death and destruction in that regard. It's not even seen the same. It's like, yes, a fiery fucking hailstorm and shit, like then like a poisoned air, the swamp and shit, to motherfucking microscopic fucking dinosaurs, to fucking like gigantic fucking dinosaur fucking creatures and shit. They're fucking eating the small things that are just slightly smaller than it type shit. Like just everything killing each other and shit in sight and shit. You know what I mean? To no fucking like land and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's mind boggling. It's like you realize like, man, like you start to really realize that was really like it didn't get chill till like now. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like it was never chill. And even now, like as you can see it's cold as fuck out here. It's still not chill. Like things are meant to fucking die and they have no real significance. Like we really think shit has significance. You know the fucking most fucking unique fucking resource on the universe is fucking wood and shit. It's like the shit that fucking goes on planet Earth. It's the only substance in the fucking universe that goes on planet Earth that you will never find on any other planet. And they've been finding planets. I want to talk about astrology and the 9 planets and shit. And like, bro, it's like fucking billions of planets these motherfuckers have found and shit. So okay, like get the fuck out of here. And that's all I'm trying to say is like it's like shit like it's like this shit you realize this shit is fucking stupid. Like there's just so much dumb shit out here. It's like this shit ain't shit, bro. Like this socialized shit, human shit it's just dumb shit. You know what I mean? And it don't mean nothing. It don't mean I gotta go in the mountain. I'm the monk and shit, or I'm the MGTOW monk. I understand this. Like, there's none of that shit. All that shit is just capitalism. All that shit is just you playing yourself. Like, and people act like, oh, they're stealing our shit and the ancient shit that we used to fucking do, and this was it don't mean shit. Like, shit don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Like, for real, nothing fucking matters, And I know I probably do a time to press for that shit, but it's kind of given me a certain level of clarity of not giving a fuck anymore. Because, like, I don't have to worry about this shit anymore. I don't have to worry about trying to fucking be shit or feeling ashamed because or trying to force shit. Like, I don't have to, like, force shit. Because there's people out here that are evil as fuck. Right, because the world is evil. We're just talking about death don't matter and all that shit, right? But the real, and at certain levels, for a fact, right? Especially certain there's a reason why people are so fucking evil. Like people like ICE, right? People that are in ICE. It's like why the fuck are they doing that shit? You get what I'm saying? It's because it's like these motherfuckers is losers. We realize all that shit don't fucking matter and shit. It's like you can never like chill, but they don't want to chill because they want to sit here and be there. They're still underneath the spell. They feel like for example, me. Like I said right now, I can do this. I can be like, oh man, I can hyper masculinize and like really try to go hard as fuck right now. They force shit. That's what I'm saying. These people force shit. They fucking force shit. I used to be having friends shit. I don't talk about, what I'm saying, grew up in a situation like that. People say they force shit. Like, I'm sitting here working at a job. You trying to sell weed and shit. Like, what are you doing? People be forcing shit. Trans women fucking don't want to work at a job. She want to be an escort and shit. I'm still working at a job. Shit, yeah, I deal with shit all the time and shit every day. Like I'm hating it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But like, come on, you know. I'm just saying, like, people force shit, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong and shit, but a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, it's like I don't mean like they're losers, like they're just like they like you know what I mean, they forcing that shit, you know. A lot of times, depends on the situation, they're losers because they try to fucking like them. Some of like I said, the people that want to be, oh, like I'm not gay, but I'm this or I'm doing the trans shit. Just I want to be gay, but I'm not trying to be gay. Like you know what I'm saying, type shit, like that type of shit. People that do that type of shit, they force people that force shit. It's the force ones and shit. I'm telling you, people that point their fingers, oh, these people are the bad people and shit. They're the ones that be doing that shit, and it's like it's based off some force shit. We don't give a fuck if you are gay and shit, pastor. You ain't gotta hate on gay people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like that type of weird shit. Like and being gay is not even real. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's just men fucking have sex with men and shit. Like you know what I'm saying? When you start like really realizing shit, you start realizing like, oh no, like and then like it cools down. You start realizing like this shit dumb, bro. Like it's dumb. Like even if they want to say all this shit, oh about trans people, they really talking shit about themselves. Like you know what I'm saying? Oh, you're not a real man. You're a weak man and shit. Nah, like it's because you're weak man, and it's based off some shit that's not even real. Like it don't matter about nothing. It's like matter about nothing. It's dumb shit. Thinking, dreaming your dreams, connecting nothing with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, it's the stupidest fuck. You start realizing real quick how stupid all shit is. You know? Because the sad thing is you realize your dreams are not really real. The only thing that's really real is survival. That's the one. But if you want to live your dreams and shit, it's just a dream. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like if you want to be trans and shit, can you actually do that shit? Like, yeah, you can like change your gender, you can be transsexual and shit, but you're gonna be just transsexual and shit. You can't make that shit something it's not. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You're a woman, you have a female brain and shit, and then your testosterone comes from the balls and shit, so it's masturbate your body fucking male. Like, okay, then is society gonna fucking ever fucking see you as a woman and shit? Probably not. But you technically, scientifically are a woman. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You're not female, but you're a woman though. It is what it is. Are you gonna fucking agree with that shit? No. Period. Like, you know what I mean? You have to get over that shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not, you're not wrong for that shit, and they're not wrong for fucking, like, being confused and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You know? But are they hostile? Yes, because they're fucking, it's the weird ones that are hostile. So they're, you know what I'm saying? Because they're crazy. They're pseudo and shit, and they don't head about, like, just everything. So you can't fuck with them and shit because they're crazy. And they gonna force shit. So you gotta protect yourself from them. But period, that's it. That's why I got this mask. Straight up. So my oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yes. Yes. Straight up. Straight up. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm saying. I'm gonna go ahead. We've been here 38 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and call it a day. Thank you for being here. That shut up. You see what I'm saying? Listen, see what I'm saying? Like, just dumb shit. Dumb shit. Like, people are literally on YouTube Live, like, talking shit about trans people and shit. Like, it's so lame. It's so lame. It's like, it's just lame. It's like really lame. I think it's probably a bad for fucking lies and shit. It's really weird. It's just like this. We live in a weird ass world. Like, I'm just kind of like, not worried about none of this shit anymore. And that's what I said, like you said, like when you're a millennial and shit, like growing up, like this shit meant shit. Now it's like, they don't mean shit now. And even now, like I said before, like you would never told me, like when I was back in like a teenager, even a young adult, like I'd have been in my 30s and I'd be able to be homeless and have a phone and have weed mailed to me and shit and be able to keep a job and just like be chilling and shit, you know? Like I thought I was gonna be like a bum, homeless with nothing to eat and eating out of trash cans and shit. And like you don't even have to be that way. Like you could just keep a job and shit and just do your thing. Like it's just crazy shit, you know. I never thought in 1,000 years like this would really be like possible in regards to like what I think because we didn't have smartphones and shit with data and all this shit on it. So it was like you know what I mean. I was thinking about yesterday, like so I can even fathom some shit like this, even in a negative way. So it was like that's why I was like, yeah, like I don't know, bro. Maybe just like I don't know, you know. So almost like regardless if you're a bum and shit, like life is always gonna get better because people are gonna be pushing this shit up. They're gonna create funds. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But anyways, I digress. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna call it. See.